All right, guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. Going to be going over the round one recap here. Some interesting stuff happening. Kind of somewhat went as expected, though. And then we're going to get into those round two showdown picks, as well as cover who is most likely to win heading into round two. As a lot of you guys know, we've been 100% on that in terms of players that were in the top 10 with the expected win rate heading into round two since doing that. So that's kind of fun. And then we will cover right out the bat here just some ownership talk here. Some interesting ownerships there. So we'll get into that right now. All right, so just pulling it up on yesterday's live stream, I mentioned that we could tell just based on expected ownership that everyone was making builds with at least two people from that high tier price point range, and with that, someone or a couple of those players would see their expected ownership drop off a decent amount. And with that, we saw that player be Jordan Spieth from 25 to 17. Interesting there. And then the other one was Brendan Steele from 20 to 13%. It was expected that that would happen just based on, roster construction. Some players might be favoring someone else. We saw that happen. And then Keegan Bradley from 20 to 9. That was shocking to me as well. But everyone else was pretty much how you'd expect them to go. I really don't see anything bad in terms of the top end players in terms of ownership. It all makes sense. Corey Connors, just the best in the model pretty much. Just great play. Jordan Spieth made a lot of sense. Charlie Hoffman made a lot of sense. Brian Palmer, Tony Finau, Chris Koepka made a lot of sense. Abraham Answer. I honestly thought Abraham Answer would be a little bit more higher owned. Really just checking all the boxes. That freaking triple and bogey finish, though. Wow. He would be in contention right now. Now we might have a little bit of cut sweat with him. And I just want to touch on some surprising ownership. So Sam Burns there, 18% owned. And that's really been the theme of 2021 is that people have been taking these risky plays and just going with it, firing at the hip, if you will. Sam Burns, 18% ownership. 17 is what he actually ended up being, but still, it's been crazy that people do that. Coming off of two straight miscuts, I get it. Good stat fit, but you want players to be checking all the boxes. You want players coming into good recent form. It's just a little bit shocking to me that people just went with that at 17%, maybe 10%. I would get it because he's only going to ruin 10% of your lineups, not a fourth of them or a fifth of them. It's a little bit shocking there at that ownership leverage. And then Doug Gim as well. Doug Gim's ownership actually went up, which means people were really like, hey, I want to take this GPP risk. Just a little bit shocking to me that people have been doing this. This has been the theme of 2021. Just kind of wanted to point that out, that this has kind of been the theme, is that people tend to really chase upside, if you will. Don't really care about downside that much this year. It's kind of crazy. It's been a weird theme that's been occurring this season. But let's get into those round two showdown picks. All right, so I do want to mention a new thing that I added to this leaderboard page. It's going to be expected cut percentage, just at their current spot. So just something fun to look at for you guys. But let's just sort it by percent owned. We'll do, I don't know, from 13% owned to 26% owned. Just talk about the cut sweats that we have going here. So one of them is going to be Charlie Hoffman here. Kind of the unfortunate thing. Really was checking all the boxes. No reason to fade him. He's sitting at +4, which, it's going to be 2 off the expected cut line right now, which, we've seen this time in and time again. Guy who's highly chalky, rates around the model, was the correct play, just struggling around 1. Had the unfavorable tee time as well. He's going to have the favorable tee time tomorrow. It's highly likely that he goes out and plays a much better round. We've seen this time in and time again. At this point, I would say it's about 70% of the time where a guy who was the correct play, like Charlie Hoffman was, goes out and has a good round too. So I do like him as a pick. And just talking about that a little bit further, players that were in the same price point range that are doing well, that were pretty much similar plays: Ryan Palmer, Abraham Answer, Chris Koepka, Brendan Steele, very similar plays, correct plays, and Hoffman pretty much rated out better than most of those guys as well. So I do expect him to bounce back. Now, Lanto Griffin, I do want to point out Hoffman has a 54% chance to make the cut as well. So, definitely expect him to at least make a push for that. We look at Lanto Griffin, a little bit shocked that he was around 15% owned, but still, it made sense. He, kind of a safer play, more of a shoulder shrug play. Ranked 24th in the model, has a 47% chance to make the cut. Then going back to it, Sam Burns, 94th place right now. just has to have a better round. His best round this year is round 2, so kind of expected. 59% chance to make the cut. And then that's it. Everyone else is fully expected to make the cut in terms of higher percent owned. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Tony Finau miss the cut. That'd be huge, to be honest with you guys. A little bit of carnage. That'd be nice. And then Doug Gim as well. Just would like that carnage there. Shout out to Scotty Scheffler for playing well, though. After that long week last week, that was a little bit shocking to see. But let's get into those round 2 showdown picks. Just kind of covering it as well, just cut likelihood percentage. So some of the players here, like Sun Kang, just do not have enough rounds under their belt to qualify for that. But Camilo Villegas kind of expected to maybe have a cut sweat, 54% chance to make the cut. And then we look at, I can't even say his name, Yule there, 43% chance to make the cut, just not having a really good model ranking there. Rafa, good to see him playing well. Just kind of an interesting thing to look at. Jordan Spieth, 80% chance to make the cut. We like that. Sky Scheffler, 88% chance to make the cut. Just something fun to look at as well. You can kind of see how your cut sweat's going as well. But yeah, let's pull up that round 2 showdown ranks here. Round 2, sorted by round 2. And then, yeah, round 2. All right, so here is who is expected to have a good round 2. Now, once again, guys, you want to favor the morning tee time. I said this on the live stream, and we're seeing this again. You know, pretty much every showdown slate, unless there's a guaranteed weather advantage, you want to favor the morning tee times, especially this one, where you know there's just going to be a slight advantage there. Just softer conditions, greens aren't as hard at that point or firm at that point. So we saw that with the morning tee time. So you definitely want to favor the morning tee times once again. But just kind of going off of that so far, we are seeing Patton Kizzire would be a good pick. Hideki, who went low, has a favorable tee time. Would like him as a pick. Tony Finau is going to have a favorable tee time. Would like him as a pick. Zach Johnson, you could definitely roll with. John Hub, wouldn't mind. Adam Hadwin, interesting there. But let's see Charlie Hoffman. Let's see how he ranks. I'm kind of curious there. We'll just go by current place, and we'll just take some of those players out that aren't doing exactly well, that are expected to have a better round. Let's do filter out the top 20, just to see who's expected to have a better round. So I answered that freaking one bad shot, really. Zach Johnson, once again. Chris Kirk, Roger Sloan. Interesting there. Let's keep going a little bit lower. I want to see where Hoffman pops up here, because I expect him to have a better round. Still pretty low. Let's see here. All right, there he is. So 32nd rank, that's not bad. I would say that's going to be much more likely. He has that favorable tee time. I would say he's much more likely to have a good round, round 2. And then like someone like Jim Furyk, I fully expect to have a bounce back round as well. Jim Furyk, good stat fit. I kind of curious as to Jim Furyk as how he ranks out here. Those are 2 players that I was decently on in the player pool, and I'm kind of curious to see what he's expected to do in round 2. Interesting there. That's because for some reason it hasn't been pulling in his round 2 rankings this week. I don't know why. I'll have to get that cleaned up, but I expect Jim Furyk to have a much better round 2, especially with those easier windy conditions. I definitely expect him to have a better round. But yeah, we get a good picture of like who's gonna have a good round 2. For me, it's gonna be staring at Hideki. He did play well though, so he's not expected to have as good of a round in round 2 as he did in round 1, but still expected to have a good round is kind of the key there. Tony Finau should have a better round. Once again, just favoring that morning tee time. And now we're gonna get into who's most likely to win heading into round 2. Wait, we got to get that round 2 in there. Whoopsie. So very interesting to me. Hideki ranks out number 1 right now. Kind of shocking to me, but hey, makes sense. World-class player, dominating right now. Makes sense. Scotty Scheffler second. Makes sense. The worry with Scotty was, just potential hangover effect, if you will. Not seeing any of that. So all in all, he would be a good pick then for round to bet on to win potentially. Cameron Tringale popping there. Corey Connors, guys, he should have had a much better round than he did, really. Kind of had just some horrible putts on some easy birdie attempts. I shouldn't say easy, but just had some horrible birdie attempts. And then kind of made a couple of bad bogeys in a row after those poor putts, then bounced back fine. So kind of expect that. Brendan Steele, guy that was checking all the boxes. Top 5 in win rank right now. And that's pretty much just because he was checking all the boxes. Kind of curious as to that. Kind of struggles in round 2, so might not have the best round 2, but top 3 in the model, 86% chance to make the cut. And then he should have a pretty decent weekend. I could kind of see that happening. Jordan Spieth, top 7, just needs to be able to close it out, guys. He's getting knocked a lot for his ability to suck. In the clutch, I guess, if you will, this season, 146 in that, so he's kind of getting knocked there. Ryan Palmer played well. Kind of expect him to have a better round. Siwoo Kim and Keegan Bradley rounding out that top 10. Keegan Bradley, much like Jordan Spieth, though, I mean, he's pretty much just been a poor man's version of Jordan Spieth. Has had the same kind of comeback, just hasn't been able to get it done in round 4. So those guys are kind of the expected ones. So just based on, this is going to be the week that player from this section doesn't win. But based on what we've seen over the past, since I've been doing this coverage, is that one of these guys are going to win. So who's your guys' pick to win in this price point range? I want to see Brendan Steele win. That'd be interesting to me. That'd be super fun to see Brendan Steele win, because a guy that's checking all the boxes kind of casually went under the radar. I don't know. That'd be interesting to see. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. I hope the cut sweats go your way. I know I'm cheering for Jim Furyk and Charlie Hoffman a decent amount. My boy Vincent Whaley, almost a min-price value play, doing well as well. Nice to see there. Having been a decent amount of builds, I was definitely like freaking 12% overweight on him. So got some interesting stuff tomorrow. Kind of expected to go our way though. Much like really the last 2 weeks I went for the cut sweat, so kind of expecting that as well. Really only 2 people kind of lined us down. Other than that, been pretty solid. So hopefully it's a good week this week, and then we got the Masters next week. All right, I'm out, guys, and as always, keep cashing.